So I have not played this game since March. So in this video we're gonna just finish it all up, or hopefully we finish it all up. We'll see. But make sure we have next speed and yeah. Alright, all washed up, my lady. After an awkward bath where I had to let my maid Linda wash me, I'm finally dressed in a nightgown and allowed to rest. Okay. My body feels weak, the shock of dying, reincarnating, then almost dying again, finally taking a toll on me. A loud yawn escapes my lips. I cover my mouth. I'm going to lie down. Is there anything else you need from me? Forgot I'm supposed to formally dismiss Linda whenever I want to be alone. She's Celeste's servant after all. I'm good for now. I'll call for you later if I need anything. Alright, my lady. Linda curtsies before me and then she exits the room. Okay. I sink into the softness. Let me turn this down a little bit. I sink into the softness of my mattress, taking a good look around the room. This place has an undeniably expensive, polished, fancy look. Somebody has tried very hard to make the atmosphere more feminine, and I know it wasn't Celeste. The Celeste the book mentions is quite the tomboy, caring little for girly things like dolls' decorations. She doesn't have good social skills. She lacks proper knowledge of etiquette, and she dances like an elephant. Instead, she's great at archery, hunting, and riding horses. Let me see if I can make it. Yeah. However, this society deems all of those activities inappropriate for a lady, and thus she doesn't have many friends. Well, that's those dumb gender roles and stuff. Sounds so much like me in my past life. The only two people who really like Celeste are Levi, who for some reason that isn't really explained in the book, adores his lady, and Celeste, are you alright? Celeste's twin sister, Eurydice? We'll just call you Dice. The book also briefly mentions Dice has part of Levi's backstory, simply describing her as the more ladylike twin who loves pink and romance novels. I feel Celeste's emotions for, let's see, yeah, I think it's Eurydice, but yeah. In my heart though, Celeste really cherishes her sister. Celeste? Yes, notices that I'm staring at her with a faint smile on my face. I'm alright. Thanks for worrying about me. She rushes over to my bed, fixing the pillow under my head and helping me sit up. Well, of course I'm worried about you. You're my beloved sister. What would I do if I lost you? I don't know if it matters if I say Levi was with me or not, but I guess I'll say he was with me. Levi was with me. Nothing bad could have happened to me under his protection. You think I don't know how you always run off from Levi during your hunts? Making excuses that you have to be alone because he's stomping too loud, scaring your prey off. She called us out. Busted. I know that is exactly what Celeste has always done. I take a glance at Celeste's memories, wondering if she ever realized Levi wasn't in love with her. If running off was her way of trying to avoid the awkwardness of his puppy-like adoration. I feel such an awkwardness, unsure of how to deal with the way Levi has always viewed her. The situation wasn't comfortable for Celeste at all. I pushed her feelings aside to focus on my conversation with Eurydice. You got me. You split from Levi this time too, sister. I did. Figures. Eurydice lets out an annoyed sigh and give her a wide smile and join our conversation despite her chastising me. I really like having a friend whom I can talk to freely. I really would like to know what happened today though. Levi babbled something about a demon? I'd like to know more too for the matter. Oh, that's father. He doesn't look happy. Father walks into the room without knocking or otherwise warning us of his presence. He has a stern look on his face, but that's just his usual expression. The joy I felt at talking to Eurydice momentarily evaporates. New emotions from Celeste surface in my heart. Her father has always made her feel lesser, inadequate. I review her memories of him and curse inwardly. To say her father favors Eurydice when at all captures the severe inequality of the situation. During some of their past interactions, he has been outright abusive, belittling Celeste and calling her names. I stiffen my spine, sitting up straight. I took so much shit as Celine, and I'm not gonna do it again as Celeste. Yeah, hell yeah, sister. What happened today that's left you so disheveled? I look down at myself. The only blemish in my appearance is a scratch on my knee from when I hid in the bushes. The mark is so small that I didn't even notice it while bathing. Otherwise, I'm wearing a fresh nightgown and all cleaned up. There's nothing disheveled about me. I give Father a defiant look. As you can see, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Father huffs. You and your sister's 18th birthday is in 3 days. We're leaving for the capital the day after tomorrow. If you're not healed up and in top form by then, I'll be up and running by tomorrow. My body feels tired and heavy, but there's nothing a bit of sleep can't fix. I see Eurydice scoot slightly to the left, as if taking a step away from Father's negative energy. Same, sister. You better be. I don't want you to ruin the Golden Bow ceremony for your sister. You're forbidden to leave the mansion for the next 3 days. I open my mouth to tell them all, but my eyes land on Eurydice. She shakes her head slightly. I would have told them off anyway. To honor her wishes, I decide not to agitate Father any further. Alright. I nod. I don't feel like going hunting or horseback riding anyway. Someone would quickly notice that I'm not as good as those activities as Celeste should be. Still not sure how much of her skills I can access for myself. Levi set me in front of himself on his horse to return us to the mansion earlier, so I have no idea if I actually know how to ride a horse myself. I only rode a horse once or twice as Celine when I was a kid, not nearly enough to match Celeste's experience. Now tell me what happened. Oh, you can piss off. I ain't telling you shit. I killed a demon. For finding Eurydice let out gasp of surprise. Yeah, killed a demon. Slayed. Slay? Levi said you two had an encounter with a demon, but I assumed he was the one to kill it. Oh, that's Eurydice. Oh, my fault. Shake my head and smile. I shot an imp with my bow. What was such a monstrosity doing in the middle of Lokari Empire lands? We're far from the war front. Imp was conveniently there to kill Celeste for Levi's tragic backstory. I want to tell the truth, but of course I won't. Finding Eurydice would take me for a mad woman if I babbled about them being characters from a novel. I don't know, but the monster attacked me, so I killed it. I shrugged like my actions were nothing out of the ordinary. After all, it's a danger it's kill or be killed. Father sits down in the chair next to the entrance of my room and hides his face in his hands. I knew my daughter wasn't much of a noble lady, but this... The one was loud enough for both Eurydice and I to hear. Sister and I share a smile. Where was your night when the demon attacked you? I should choose my words carefully. I don't want Levi to take the blame for my actions. I ran off on him again. Wanted to hunt it on my own. Of course. Just a long sigh, like I'm burning him more than he can bear. My body takes this moment to remind me of how tired I am. A big yawn escapes my lips. I cover my mouth with my hand. Rest. Father gets up and gestures for Eudice to leave. Eudice nods and walks behind them out of the room. She turns back to me when she's in the doorway and gives me a warm smile. Get some rest. I'll be back later. Return her smile and sink more deeply into the bed, make myself comfortable. It doesn't take long for me to fall into dreamless slumber. Do I have any more water? Damn. Like a fraction. When I wake up again, the rays of morning sun pour into my room. I get out of bed and stretch to make sure my body's working properly. I feel refreshed after my long sleep, and my weakness in my limbs. Everything's in order again. It's good. I walk to my desk, sit down, take a fresh sheet of paper. I hesitate when I realize there's only a quill for writing, but I won't be stopped. I produce a few scratchy letters. My handwriting looks horrible. It seems I can't directly access Celeste's skills after all. It's quite inconvenient. I can manage to write with a quill, but not very well, and only in English, of course. I have to write down everything I know about the web novel Saint of the Golden Bow so I can organize my knowledge of the world and line it up with Celeste's memories. Scratchy handwriting or not, I need to sort out all my assets. Let's start with the basics. Saint of the Golden Bow is a romantic tragedy fantasy web novel by the Korean web novelist Manuel Kim. I read the English translation on one of my favorite web novel and comic apps. The story is supposed to be turned into a web comic and have promo art, which is how I was able to recognize Levi immediately. His design and the artwork even had him in the same outfit he was wearing on the day of the demon attack. Maybe I should also write down. What BL is? I scribbled BL on the paper. Boys Love is a genre of Asian media that centers around relationships between two men but is geared towards the female audience. It's romantic and simply wonderful to watch two men fall in love with each other. I'm really in for good BL romance. I guess I am too. What web novel is? I scratched down web novel in big letters. Since the beginning of the 21st century, web novels have been immensely popular in South Korea. The web novel is a novel first published on the internet. Readers unlock chapters and interact with what they are reading by posting comments. Web novels tend to be very long in order to maximize engagement. Saint of the Golden Bow was an exception. It wasn't that long of a book, but it still got over 100 chapters. It was translated to English and published on one of my favorite web novel and comic apps. I was grateful for the chance to read it in English, as I don't know Korean. And what a webcomic is? I pinned down webcomic in big letters on my sheet of paper. Webcomics are often adaptations of web novels. Each episode is published on a reading app as a long vertical strip. Some even feature music composed specifically for the chapters, but those are rare. Unlike other Asian comics like manga, webcomics are in color. They are published digitally too, though sometimes they also end up being printed as books. There's a very popular genre of webcomics right now called Otome Isekai. I probably butchering this pronunciation of, but I'm trying. In those stories, a girl from Earth dies and is reincarnated as a character in a visual novel or web novel. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? I let out a long sigh. I've been Yes. Not as a villainous though, a bad character like in most of those stories. Instead, I'm what is referred to as an extra, an insignificant character. Maybe that's for the best. After all, being a minor character means I couldn't have messed up the story too much by avoiding my planned death in the plot. Hope not. Only time will tell. Alright, that's basics. I get up for a moment and wander over to the mirror. Put your hand to the glass. The design of Celeste wasn't included in the promo art. I take in my new features. Purple hair and pink eyes. Slender figure. There's no denying it. I'm really not Celine anymore. I understand that I have reincarnated into the novel finally settles in my mind. Feel calm. Calmer than I ever thought I would be if something out of a novel suddenly changed the course of my life. There's no fighting in reality, is there? As strange as this situation is, I'm Celeste, and I have her memories. But somehow, I'm Celine as well, equipped with knowledge of this world that Celeste never had. Walk back to the desk to sit down and continue organizing my thoughts. Maybe after I process everything, I'll break down and cry about my fate. Right now, however, I don't feel like moping around. Instead, I want to fight for a better fate. Back to Saint of the Golden Bow. The book starts with Celeste's death event. Levi was in love with his lady for years, but the actual love interest of the story is Prince Noah. Celeste has to die at the beginning of the book to make Levi feel at his lowest when the Golden Bow chooses him as the saint. Why didn't Celeste save herself if she was said to be so great at archery? It was possible for me to use my mediocre skills to defeat the demon. It must be book logic. She had to die for the story and the Saint of the Golden Bow to proceed the way it did. Soon after Celeste's death, Levi's quest to save the Lokari Empire from the Demon Queen begins. However, he doesn't go alone. Noah, as well as High Priest Elijah, second love interest, both accompany him on the journey. Noah and Levi fall in love. Elijah falls in love with Levi too, but Levi chooses Noah. When the final confrontation with the Demon Queen happens, the love Noah and Levi share is an important component of defeating the Fiend. Through their love, the magic of the weapon becomes stronger. However, this story is a tragic one. Even though Levi defeats the Demon Queen, he perishes in the process, so he just does all that to die anyway. Noah and Elijah live on, and peace returns to the Lokari Empire, so Noah and Elijah have been eventually end up together, I guess. We were crying at the end of the book, and cursing the author for writing such a beautiful yet heart-wrenching tale. I reread the novel twice. Seeing the Golden Bow is really one of my favorite stories. I still don't appreciate being reincarnated into this world though, especially not as Celeste. The only purpose in the story is to add angst to Levi's life. He didn't die when I was supposed to though, and now the story has continued regardless. I wonder how many things will change now because Celeste is alive. Will Levi still be able to fall in love with Noah despite the fact that I'm still here? Seems pretty hung up on Celeste after all. I look into Celeste's memories to examine her feelings about Levi. I sense a mixture of emotions. Anger, awkwardness, desperation. Celeste didn't like to be on the receiving end of Levi's feelings. She badly wanted him to stop looking at her romantic intentions. What Celeste really needed was to have a friend in him, not as a lover. As a noble lady, she especially found his feelings for her inappropriate. She even tried to set him up with other people of various genders who were in this station. Levi always admitted they were attractive whenever she asked, but he never expressed any romantic interest. Celeste was the only one for him. Levi's responses frustrated Celeste to the point that she had tried her best to get away from him, which ultimately led to her death. What a sad relationship. I can't quite hate Celeste for being cold to Levi, now that I know her distressed about his love for her, but at the same time, I do pity Levi. Levi was this obsessed with Celeste. How had he moved on to Noah so quickly? Maybe it wasn't real love, it was more like lust. Change of heart wasn't really explained in the novel, and I remember some people voicing their opinions on the forums about how unrealistic this plot point was. I'd always ignored those complaints because I really adored the Noah and Levi relationship. Celeste would surely have disapproved of it though. Certain the boys have vastly different positions in society, But the forbidden aspect of their romance was what had made everything more exciting to me as a modern reader. I really want to ship and sail for the boys to get together, but I don't know if that outcome is possible with Celeste still being alive. Levi is clearly at least bisexual, judging from his responses to the romantic candidates Celeste had presented to him, but the fact didn't matter if he was unwilling to consider any other lovers. Maybe he would still change his mind if I met Noah. Maybe it would be a greater love, one established at first sight. If Levi and Noah didn't fall in love at the end of the quest, will Levi still be able to defeat the Demon Queen? I shudder. What if I've broken the story beyond repair by avoiding my demise? What was I supposed to do though? Just die? That's not so like me. I'm a fighter. Maybe I can change the story even further so that Levi can still survive the final encounter. No idea how to make this plan work, but maybe opportunities to influence the world further will present themselves to me. After all though, the thought is chilling. What's happening here isn't just a web novel story. Saint and the Golden Bow is my new reality. Day of Celeste and Eurydice's 18th birthday, Father takes us to the capital to attend the Golden Bow ceremony. Levi had his 18th birthday a few days ago as well. Since he's of lower standing than the Count's family, Father got the approval of the church for Levi to attend our ceremony together with us, instead of his own a few days earlier. Your knight has to guard you at all times, Father had said to Celeste before I reincarnated into her body. After the encounter with the imp, he's become even more convinced that Levi shouldn't leave my side. Not that Levi is complaining about having to stick close to me, for obvious reasons. At Eurydice, Levi and I stand in the middle of the chapel in the royal palace of Solus, Lokari Empire's capital. Behind us are the many other people who will be tested. Before us, the high priest Elijah Soren takes a spot behind the titular Golden Bow, a papal artifact that will choose the saint one day. I know that day will be today, since Levi is the one who will be chosen. If the story goes that way, though. I eyed the bow with suspicion. That reflects off its gold-covered surface. The design is pretty and elaborate. Looks like a pain in the ass to use the weapon. Too ornamental for my taste.
We are all gathered here today to see if the Golden Bow, the weapon given to us by our Lord to help us one day defeat the vile Demon Queen, will finally choose its saint.
Okay, I don't have to talk. I don't mind.
On this beautiful morning, when the sun's rays fall through the windows of our chapel, let us give our gratitude to the Lord. He has given us means to end the war that has been raging for so many decades.
I've never been particularly religious, even in my past life. I especially don't believe in a fantasy god, but...
Let us give our gratitude.
Okay.
Let us give our gratitude.
When Eurydice and Levi bow their heads and say the words of a prayer, along with all the other people in the hall, I mumble the words as well.
Let us give our gratitude.
We sound so enthusiastic. I don't want to draw suspicion to myself after all.
20 years ago, the blessed blacksmith was bestowed with the Lord's inspiration and crafted the Golden Bow. He worked tirelessly, day and night, until finally, he completed the artifact. Ever since then, the people of the Lokari Empire have sought to be tested on the day of their 18th birthday by the Golden Bow. The artifact will choose its wielder. That person will become the saint and be tasked with defeating the Demon Queen, who has terrorized our borders for 23 years.
I'm saying if this hollow thing will work, but probably not. Glad Elijah reminds us of the history of the bow. I've forgotten some of the details.
I will now call forth today's attendees to be tested. Each of you just needs to touch the golden bow once, and its judgment will be bestowed on you.
I feel like it's gonna be us. I hope I'm wrong, but... Elijah takes out a sheet of paper and reads the first name from the list. Okay. I wish you would have said it. Eurydice Aquarius. Aquarius? Daughter of Count Aquarius. Hopefully I got that right. Eurydice approaches the bow. She puts a hand on the artifact. Nothing happens. Of course, what else did I expect? Levi is the same. The golden bow will only glow for him. Or so you think. A frown appears on the high priest's brow as he reads the next name. Celeste Aquarius, daughter of Count Aquarius. I take a deep breath and step onto the podium, reminding myself that I shouldn't expect anything. Put my hand on the weapon. For a moment nothing happens, but then... the bow glows, its light getting brighter and brighter with each second. The light feels scorching hot. I close my eyes worrying I'll go blind if I don't. You must fight on. I hear an angelic voice again. Was the bow the one speaking to me when I reincarnated? Or was it the god of light himself? The thought that I may have been addressed by a deity is frightening. No, gods aren't real. You're not religious, Celine. Yeah, the golden bow. Let's pick someone. The burning light makes my skin feel like it's on fire, so I take my hand away from the bow. My hand continues burning, searing pain climbing up my arm to my chest. Everything in this one is so bright, so bright. I scream. My head is spinning. The pain is too much for me to handle. I want it to stop. No, it's not gonna stop at the moment. I'm on fire. Okay. She's not dying. It's just the golden bow. I hope not. She's not dying. My consciousness fades, darkness taking me into its comforting embrace. Did we die? Okay, we didn't die. We just, I guess, passed out. I glance behind her to where Levi still stands by the door. He has a defeated look on his face. When he notices me watching him, he finally approaches the bed, standing behind Eurydice. I can't be the Saintess. It's supposed to be... I cut myself off when I realized I almost just said that Levi was supposed to be chosen as the same. You can't let that get exposed. I can't tell them what happens in the book. They don't even know they live in a fictional world. Yeah, no one do that. For some inexplicable reason, the Golden Bow, or the God of Light himself, as for me, is said as the savior of the Lokari King Empire. Only because if you then he would have got chosen, but because you didn't, now you're, yeah. I ponder aloud. I'm so confused. I don't want to be the Saintess. Why has the story suddenly changed so much? I only did my best to survive. The fact that I wasn't slain by the demon really creates such a severe butterfly effect? Yes. Or had I already been chosen at the moment of my reincarnation? I remember the angelic voice of the bow sounded just like the voice I had heard after dying in the accident at Celine. I'm sure you'll do fine. You're excellent at archery. Levi smiles through her tears, trying to reassure me. I'm not confident about my fighting skills as Eurydice is. Celeste may have been good at the bow, but I can't access her full abilities. Judging by my handwriting, I can only imagine, will only manage the bare minimum of what she could do. I'm not proficient in any of her skills. I only know how to use the bow, somewhat from my experience at Celine in middle school. This whole situation is so depressing. Once I lose heart, I have to stay strong and face my fate head on. Yeah. What's gonna happen to me now? The Empress has summoned you for an audience 3 hours from now. What does the Empress want with me? Relax, wipes her tears away. You didn't say, but we think she intends to personally congratulate you on your new role. Alright, I suppose I should start getting ready then. First, High Priest Elijah requested to check on you as soon as you woke up. Check on me? With his light magic, he wants to see if your body and mind are right after being touched by God's grace. Feeling okay, but I suppose I shouldn't turn away a member of the church. Not complying with their wishes might be dangerous now that I'm somewhat part of their organization. The reality is so overwhelming that I would really prefer to be alone now, but there's no time for me to mull over what has happened. A chance to break down will come later, after everyone goes to sleep. Okay, you can tell High Priest I'll see him. I'll go bring him here. Levi turns around and walks out of the room in long strides. Levi gives me a comforting smile. Everything's gonna be okay. I hope so too. Silence falls between us, but it's a cozy, warm kind of quiet. I get the feeling that no matter what happens, you guys will support me. I envy Celeste for having such a great sister and friend. I should use this opportunity to ask your daddy some questions about my situation. I'll try to be careful about how I broach the topics. I don't want to reveal my jumbled logic about the world. Okay. What does it mean to have the role of the Saintess? Was I get this? Saintess is the fourth most important person in the Lokari Empire, after the Empress, River Consort, and the Crown Prince. You're on par with the head of the church, the High Priest. Am I part of the church now? You're not a priestess, if that's what you're asking. You're still a noble, so you can marry someone of noble standing if you like. You're not sworn like the clergy, totally married within the church. I remember this plot regarding Elijah. He was unable to be with Levi because Elijah was only allowed to marry from the priesthood. Forbidden love. Popular trope. It was an unusual plot point for a web novel to explore. A religious figure falling in love. Still, people had admired the author for bringing something different to the table, even though the main ship had remained Noah and Levi. Marriage that feels so far away. We're 18 now, so Father will probably help us find suitable suitors soon. I would like to marry for love, if at all possible. Love was one of the components needed to defeat the Demon Queen. Levi and Noah's love. Will I fall in love with someone now that I was a Saintess? I don't have enough time, if that's really necessary. I'm not someone who falls in love easily. Does that mean I have to pursue one of the guys? Perhaps. Do you have someone in mind for marriage? Maybe. You could tell me. I'm not gonna tell anybody. Maybe another time. I'm not ready to admit it myself. Alright. I chuckle. Your guess is adorable when she's shy. Okay, how long has Empire waited for the Saintess? As the High Priest said, the Golden Bow was created by the blessed blacksmith 20 years ago, before we were even born. They say he worked tirelessly day and night for 2 weeks to create the artifact. Design was bestowed upon him by the God of Light himself. The blessed blacksmith said God told him in a dream that the Golden Bow would choose its saint. The time is right. Only the saint can wield the weapon and harness its power. Realize tells me aligns with the backstory I already know from the novel, but it's good to be reminded about the details. I listen intently. What kind of power does the Golden Bow have? Bloodline magic, the kind that priests wield. It said that only an arrow shot from the artifact would be able to kill the Demon Queen. Usual fantasy world mech Guffenden. For plot reasons, other weapons can't harm the ultimate boss. Right, makes sense. It doesn't, but your head doesn't seem to be aware of how ridiculous it is that only one weapon you build by one special person can kill the enemy that the Empire has been fighting against for decades. Yeah. After the Golden Bow was created, the whole Yokari Empire and our allied kingdom of Duenderdal were tested to see if the saint was among them. But the savior wasn't found. Later it was decided that every person would get tested on their 18th birthday, suggested by the blessed blacksmith. 20 years passed, but the saint still wasn't found. Till now. He was so random that I was actually chosen as a saintess. But it's my reality now. This world seems to operate on book logic anyway. Okay, what do we know about the Demon Queen? People who have seen her say she looks like a beautiful woman, except she also has horns, a tail, and a third eye on her forehead. But she's far from human. She's cruel and dangerous. She kills humans without mercy. She commands an army of demons, vile monstrosities. You saw one. Was it ugly as they say? It wasn't pretty, that's for sure. War has been going on for 23 years now. By that time, 1/3 of Lokari's empire lands to the east have been ravaged by war and infiltrated by the demons. They leave only ruins behind when they take over a town. The fire is said to be ever burning. You'll have to travel east to defeat the Demon Queen. She's taken a residence in the Klauman Castle. It used to be the seat of Duke Klauman and his family, but they had to abandon their homeland to the demons 10 years ago. That news doesn't make me want to go to the border at all. It would be like walking straight into the maws of the enemy. I fear you won't have a choice in the matter. The Emperor's decreed long ago that once a saint or saintess was found, they would immediately embark on the quest to defeat the Demon Queen with a party of the most capable fighters. A quest, huh? It's like a story from a role-playing game. Not that I expect anything from this book world. Levi went on this quest as the saint after all. I just hope he won't have to leave soon. I think I'll need some time to learn to wield the Golden Bow and to accept the whole situation. I'm sure Empress will understand. We can only hope. Alright, well, those are all the questions I have now. Yeah, for this now. Thank you for helping me sort through everything, sister. You just give me a bright smile. That's what I'm here for. One thing's certain, the people of the Lokari Empire have been waiting for the Saintess for ages. Without the favor we put into your abilities, what I will be expected from you. I believe in you. If I could, I would share this burden with you. Thank you. I'm really moved by your nice dedication to me. I'll knock on the door and then Levi's voice can be heard from the other side. High Priest Elijah and Count Aquarius have arrived. Okay. They can enter. Don't want to see him or whatever. Elijah comes in the room, followed by Father. Levi closes the door behind them, remaining in the living room for our apartment to guard the entrance. High Priest bears a friendly smile. Father, on the other hand, wears his usual scowl on his face. He seems like he wants to say something, and give him an inquiring look, which is met with a glare. I don't know if I should laugh or cry at the fact that his disposition towards Celeste hasn't changed, even in the middle of such a life-changing situation. What does Celeste have to do for her father to show her affection? Give him the same. Instead of trying to feel it for someone that obviously is just an old grouch. I had any hope that he would be proud of me now I have suddenly advanced to a great position in the hierarchy of the Empire. It evaporates now. I decided not to say anything to Father, but Elijah is around. I wanted him to witness a fight between us, and I doubt I can hold my tongue right now. May I sit beside you? No. Sure. Elijah approaches and sits beside me on the bed. I need to touch you to make sure you're healthy. Is that alright? Is that how light magic works? Someone who reincarnated here from Earth, I have little knowledge about magic. I don't remember a scene like this one with the High Priest in the book. Come think of it, Levi didn't faint after touching the Golden Bow. He must have a much stronger resistance to pain than I did. Celeste doesn't know much about magic either. She has no magical powers, or of her own, after all. Nobody in the Courage family does. Elijah says he has to touch me for his magic to work, though. I doubt he's lying. I look at him and he stares back at me with a patient smile. High Priest is really attractive. Never thought I would find a guy with pink hair dashing, but he must have the longest lashes I've ever seen on a man. I blush, realizing I'm checking Elijah out. He's a priest, for heaven's sake. Your guys just reminded me that he can only marry within the clergy. He's off limits. Besides, he only wants to touch me to make sure I'm okay. Stupid hormones. I clear my throat, though I can do nothing to stop my cheeks from burning. Alright, go ahead. Elijah surprised me by leaning his forehead against mine. Working protest, an aura of white surrounds his body. He's really working his magic on me. I close my eyes to focus on how his magic makes me feel. His touch is pleasant and warm. I become strangely comforted. Before I realize what I'm doing, I lean in closer towards him. Elijah chuckles, makes me snap out of the comforting embrace of his magic.
Light magic does have a good feel, doesn't it?
Oh. Okay, he just started talking. Okay. I didn't know he was the talk again. There's a twinkle in his eye and a confident smirk on his face. Is he flirting with me? Embarrassed, I pull away. Lady Celeste is healthy. I can also confirm that the Golden Bow's magic has entered her body. She is the Saintess. Carlos had a heavy sigh. Stop being the old. I don't want to say it. I'm not gonna say it. You won't embarrass me. Oh, he's an old bitch. He needs to stop complaining. Like, every time he opens his mouth, it's just bah humbug complaining. I glare at him, pressing my lips. I want to call him out on his unkind behavior, but I stop myself. I turned back to Elijah and said, "Thank you for the checkup." "You're welcome." The guards remain now until Celeste to attend the audience with the Empress. Yes, we should go and let Sister prepare for seeing the Empress. I want to keep talking with Elijah. If anyone can explain to me more about the Golden Bow's magic, it's him. Unfortunately, now is not the right time. Father rings the bell. A moment later, Linda appears in the doorway. Makes Celeste presentable for meeting the Empress and the Emperor consort. Yes, my lord. Everyone says their goodbyes to me and they leave me alone with my maid. Now, I'm glad he's gone. I'll step behind Father, walk through the corridors of the palace to the throne room where the Empress and the Emperor consort are waiting for us. As I watch Father's back, I feel Celeste's resentment for him resurface. And resentment isn't a strong enough term to describe her feelings. Celeste hates her father. I hate him too. Not without reason though, either. What he's done to her over the years is something I can only describe as pure abuse. He's belittled her constantly, both in public and in private. His favorite title for her is his no-good daughter. And he's a no-good man. He's always made her feel like she is less than Eurydice, and worthy of his praise. The only time he ever pulls his attention away from Eurydice is when Celeste misbehaves. Celeste's mother died when the two girls were young. Celeste has no memory of her and no one to shield her from her father's wrath. Maybe that situation is why Celeste is always out hunting or horseback riding, taking herself away from her father and her duties as a noble lady. And Levi. He has watched Celeste suffer at her father's hand, in memory of him standing up for his love, and father having him flogged for it. At an event, Celeste forbade her knight to ever act in her defense again in front of her father. The yard protested, but Celeste insisted, using her authority as his noble lady to make him agree. In the years that followed, they both suffered. Celeste from her father's abuse and Levi watching his love and pain. How could I not hate Celeste's father for his disgusting behavior? Hang aloneness shoots through my heart. My parents never abused me, but I wasn't from a picture-perfect family either. There was a lot of fighting between mom and dad before they finally divorced. I was 14 when they parted ways, and I had a lot of trouble accepting that the situation wasn't my fault. I tried to help them fix their broken relationship before the divorce, but They didn't believe their marriage was worth saving. Eventually everything fell apart, regardless of my efforts. Ever since then, I've had trouble trusting anybody enough to fall in love. I had a boyfriend in high school, but he broke up with me because I was too cold and emotionless towards him. His exact words. At the time, I just didn't know how to show love, or if I should even be open about my deep feelings for him at the early stage of our relationship. Both Celeste and Celine have their own baggage. Still, I was finding it very hard not to talk back to father whenever he was rude to me. Celeste had long since given up on their relationship and simply chose to ignore his outbursts, but letting someone belittle me wasn't my style. I realized father had stopped walking when I almost bumped into him, so I was just in time to avoid the collision. High Priest Elijah. Hello again, Saintess. Count the Dequarius. Elijah nods at us with a soft smile. He looks me up and down, and I fidget uncomfortably with the attention. I'm not sure if he's checking me out or if he's interested in the fancy dress Linda helped me change into. It is a beautiful dress after all. Then his eyes wander to Levi, and he looks at him with the same appreciation. Yeah, I guess that shouldn't surprise me. I know for sure Levi is into men. After all, he was interested in Levi in the book. So I had to join you during the audience. I'm happy to have you. Oh, now you soft. You You ready to enter? I'm not, but then again, I'm not sure if I will ever be. Father nods in response to Elijah's words before I could protest. Yeah, whatever. The guards in front of the throne room entrance open the door, and Father and Elijah enter the hall. I turn to Levi, and I'm already there, I need support as someone who I know cares for me. Even though he doesn't really care for me, but there is no Celeste. Yeah, I won't be allowed to say anything during the audience. But I still want him present by my side. Come in with me. You'll only be able to stay by the door, but I want you to be there for this conversation. Alright. Into the throne room as well now, Levi following behind me. The Empress is sitting on her throne, and Emperor Consort is lounging in the smaller chair next to her. Empress Marel? So as radiant in person as she is in Celeste's memories, wearing a golden gown, she is the son of the Locari Empire. Hopefully she's nice. Her husband, Emperor Consort Lucius, comes from our allied country, Durandal. He's called the Moon in the Locari Empire. He seems nice. Looking at him makes you remember that the Locari Empire's allied country of Durandal is a southern land, and those people have darker complexions. I come from the States, so finding someone of color feels familiar and comforting. Reminds me of the fact that the novel was quite diverse for a book written by a Korean web novelist, which is good. Even though there aren't too many characters of color in Saints of the Golden Bow, the book introduces them in some important positions, which is good. Noah, the main love interest, is mixed race. When sees us approach, she gives us a bright smile. Makes me nervous. At last, the prophesied Saintess stands before me in the flesh. I smile and make my best attempt at curtsy, following Celeste's memory. The wince on Father's face tells me I failed to move properly. Oh, fuck him. For some reason, I find his expression funny. I cover my mouth so that nobody sees the smirk on my face. If I embarrass Father in front of the Empress, I can't say it wouldn't be enjoyable. Father Elijah makes smooth bows. Thank you for the chance to have an audience with you, Your Grace. Grace to be in your presence again, O radiant lady. Of course, how can I not gaze upon the chosen heroine with my own eyes? The Empire has been waiting for over 20 years. No surprise your daughter is the one who turned out to be the Saintess. Count Alaric. A nervous chuckle escapes Father's lips. It's always been good with the bow. So I've heard. Yara doesn't act much like a noble lady, does she? She does have a reputation for enjoying quite boyish activities. Father's face turns beet red. He's embarrassed because of me. I realize I shouldn't let myself be too happy about the situation, though. There's too much at stake. I can't ignore the fact that as the Saintess, I have an important role to uphold in the Lucari Empire. As Eurydice explained to me, I'm the fourth most important person in the hierarchy now. No pressure. The Empress finds me lacking as well. Having her, of all people, displeased with me is not good. Remember Noah's plotline from the novel. The Empress sends him on the quest with Levi to defeat the Demon Queen, even though Noah is the heir to the throne. Or so he should be, since he's Empress Morel's firstborn. However, the monarch is a very controlling person. She doesn't want to give up the power of her throne to anybody. She hopes to continue ruling through her child once she abdicates. Due to the law of the Lucari Empire, a person can only rule for 40 years before they have to pass on the role to another. The Empress is aging, but based on what I know from the novel, her hunger for power over the years has only grown. She wants to keep her influence over the politics of the Empire. Her heir is someone who can be easily controlled. The Empress has a secret second son. However, 10-year-old Mateo, who she raised to be completely obedient and reliant on her own opinions. Makes you wonder how she hid her pregnancy. She only sends Noah on the mission because she hopes he will die, so she can establish Mateo as her new heir. She can't pronounce someone else the crown prince until Noah is gone. Damn. Someone as ruthless as the Empress is definitely not a good enemy to have. No siree. Lucius. No, that count. Where is his 2 daughters? Oh, that's the Emperor. The one who's a perfect image of a noble lady and the one who's a tomboy. I suppose the girl that stands before us, although dressed in finery, is not much of a proper noble. Silence falls in the room. Everyone looks at me, expecting me to answer. Under the sudden attention, my mouth is dry and I can't find my words. They don't know much about Celeste, but rumors precede her. They've already judged her. Me. Why did I think I would suddenly gain respect by becoming a Saintess when Celeste's questionable reputation had been spreading for years? In a sense, it's good that everyone accepts Celeste to be quite lousy at etiquette. After all, I have no idea how to curtsy or properly use the utensils or dance like a graceful noble lady. Since Celeste's skills didn't directly transfer to me, if she really had been such a perfect lady, I would have suddenly looked like an imposter. So I don't want the Empress to think I'm worthless as a Saintess too. If she deems me inadequate like Father does, will she try to get rid of me so the Golden Bow can choose another saint? I don't think she has a very forgiving personality, just about how much she hates her own son. Just when I gather my words to speak, the door to the throne room burst open. Thank God. A well-posed, tall, blonde man entered the room in a dramatic fashion, his cloak waving behind him in a sudden draft of air. He was Noah, Levi's love interest in the book. He's come to save us! He's one of the most handsome guys I've ever seen, next to Levi and Elijah. His skin is darker than most Lucari Empire nobles, but only slightly. You hear the most of his features from the Empress. The current Emperor consort is not Noah's father, but the previous consort was also from our allied country, Durandal, in the south. When he spots me, a smirk appears on his face. His red eyes shine with mischief.
Knock knock! Did I miss anything?
I guess the fuck not.
Fashionably late as always, my son.
If I missed nothing, there was nothing to miss. This is the Saintess, right? Count Decorus's tomboy daughter.
Everyone's gonna rag on me? I hope I could groan, even no one knows about Celeste's reputation.
Yes, that's me.
You're good at archery, are you not? Better than you are at etiquette, at the very least.
Yes, I'm quite good with a bow.
Probably not as good as Celeste was, though. They were soon judging by her renowned reputation. At least I'm still good enough to shoot arrows with decent accuracy. I seem to practice a bit more Remember everything I learned in middle school.
Quite. Then you'll be perfect for the role of the Saintess.
How can you say that? If a lacking individual takes up such a high role in the hierarchy of the Empire...
All the Saintess needs to do is shoot the Golden Bow and hit the Demon Queen straight in the heart. Then the war will finally be over.
Facts.
Is that not what you want, Mother?
I want peace more than anything else.
That's a lie. With army all fighting at the warfront, the Empress feels more secure in her rule here in the capital. Do you question God's will, Empress? It is the Lord who has chosen Lady Celeste to be the Saintess of the Golden Bow. While Celeste may be lacking in some of her other areas, she asserts she's great at archery and her reputation confirms her words. Alright, Mother, so you shouldn't worry. Lady declares will make an excellent Saintess. I wish I could share the faith these two have in me. Still have to maintain a confident front, so I put on my brightest smile. Please don't worry about anything, Your Grace. I'll defeat the Demon Queen and bring peace to the Empire. And she gives me a long look. Okay. She hates me. At the moment, the confident smirk that no one inherited from her is back on her face. Excellent. There's nothing stopping us from proceeding with the mission to defeat the Demon Queen, is there? No, you will be the one leading the Saintess quest. Noah's eyes widen. He opens his mouth and closes it. She told you. You will lead the Saintess quest and you will take the 20 best men from the palace guard, Mage's Tower, and the church to accompany you. And you will leave in a month. She said in a month. So soon? Shock makes my heart beat erratic. My current archery skills, I'm nowhere near ready to defeat a powerful enemy so soon. I better get to practicing. Is there a problem? You said you're great at using the bow. Nobody needed to be successful, Saintess. Right? The Empress has really turned tables on me. I can't deny her words, and neither can Noah after all. We're the ones who just made those claims to her. Is it though we have more time to prepare? There is no more time. Now with Demon's Queen army closes in more and more on the capital in recent years. I think you and the Saintess are ready enough. No buts? Do you question the Emperor's judgment? The Emperor and Noah glare at each other. Yes, the fuck not. Noah doesn't respond. He finally just turns around and walks towards the door. No, you will prepare for the quest and depart in a month. As you wish, Your Grace. It is not too much to ask. I want to accompany the Saintess and the priest on their quest. Last request surprised me for a moment until I remembered that he wanted to join the mission when Levi was a saint as well. Are you sure, High Priest? You'll be leaving your office behind for 2 months. Yes, I'm sure. I'll take Gareth with me as well. Meredith can manage running the office on her own. I'll appoint some people to help her with the paperwork. Okay. The Saintess quest will be a historic moment in the life of the Lucari Empire. I wouldn't want to miss witnessing the Saintess defeat the Demon Queen. He has a strange taste, but with Elijah's light magic, our success will be easier. I don't protest. We'll need all the help we can get. Alright, you may go as well. Thank you, Your Grace. We'll organize a ball to celebrate the founding of the Saintess tomorrow evening. Be sure to attend. All of you. We all reply, we'll be there, and after some final departing words, we are dismissed. For the audience, I asked everyone to give me some time alone. I'm too overwhelmed by the recent events and I need some time to think. And I need some time to edit, so we're gonna stop here. We haven't played this game since March, so that is my fault. Honestly, it kind of slipped my mind. Same with this other game that I have to play, so that'll be coming out soon as well. But I've been consistent. very consistently, and I'm very happy with it. So we're gonna get back on our, I don't want to say it, but good footing. And yeah, so I thought maybe I would finish it up in another part, well, this part, but that's not gonna happen. So Saintess of the Golden Bow, hopefully y'all enjoyed, and I will catch y'all in the next one.